You know, it's a rare thing when a figure actually reaches the quality of the prototype. It's an even rarer thing when the actual final product exceeds the quality of the prototype. Anyway, here is the 1/6 scale Rambo 3 figure by Threezero. Okay, when I first saw the prototype for this figure, it was an easy pass for me. There was just something about the hair, the whole thing just looked wrong. And then suddenly I saw final product photos online and I was like, oh man, I gotta get that. But anyway, as I said, I didn't pre-order it. I actually ordered this from Kapow Toys a couple of days ago and it's just arrived. Okay, let's take a look at the box. We can see it's got a picture of the movie poster from Rambo 3 on there. We've got the Rambo 3 logo here with a spot foil print. Got the Threezero logo down in the bottom right hand corner, and we've got the name John Rambo up there. And on the side here we've got some spot gloss print and it says, God would have mercy, John Rambo won't. That's very cool, I really like that. Alright, turn it to the side, we can actually see there is the Rambo 3 logo. We've got a bow and arrow and Threezero logo. On the back we've got a black and white photo of him. It looks a little bit like just a naff Photoshop, but however. And it's got some spot UV printed quotes on the back here. It says, the first was for himself, the second was for his country. This time it's to save his friend. And then on this side we've got Rambo 3 and we've got the rocket launcher and Threezero. Logo up the top, logo on the bottom, and in the front of it is a window and it's magnetized and you can open it up and you can see the figure inside with a few of the accessories. And then on the inside here it's got John Rambo, your worst nightmare, Rambo 3. And that is it. Threezero aren't known for their wow factor for the boxes, but of the boxes I've seen them produce before, this is actually a really nice one. I do like the quotes, I think they're quite fun, and it definitely reminds me of the old cheesy sort of Rambo 3 version of Rambo, rather than the First Blood version, which was a lot more gritty and realistic. Okay, so here he is out of the packaging, and I have to say, they nailed it. Honestly, they've done an amazing job with this guy. I'm going to show you everything in a sec, but just taking him out of the packaging and having a look. This is an amazing 1/6 scale figure. I really didn't think I would like it as much as I do, but yeah, this is exactly what I wanted from a 1/6 scale Rambo this whole time. I know Hot Toys did one years ago, but I was hoping another company would have taken a stab at it. And we've had a few third-party goes, but most of them have been middling to poor representations of Sylvester Stallone as Rambo. So to finally get a fully licensed, fully realised version of the character and it not suck ass is brilliant. Okay, let's quickly have a look at the accessories. Right, let's take a look at the bow and arrow first. We can see this is the bow. Looks exactly like it did in the movie. It's even got the 3 strings at the back here. Also has the arrow holder just down here, and the arrows actually fit in there. Okay, he comes with 2 different types of arrow. He comes with 2 of the normal tipped ones, and he also comes with 3 of the explosive head ones, which are quite iconic for the Rambo 3 character. I love that bit when he pulls the bow and arrow back and blows that dude up. It's just so cool and ridiculous. And you can see that the arrows do fit into the holes at the bottom here, and then we just come in and put it up. And if you push it in, it does get a little tight in there, so you might not want to push them right in, because once they're in there, they're probably not coming out without damaging. So, you know, be very careful with them. They are very thin. And he also comes with a bow and arrow holster to go on his back, and it is pleather, so yeah, that might deteriorate in time, but it looks very nice. The zip at the top here is a little big, but it's not too bad. It's very nicely weathered. They've actually gone in and given it the detail of the heavy weathering to make him look rough and ready. We can see that they've stuck studs on the back there, and they actually give you extra studs with which to replace those if you so need. He also comes with this little C4 explosive. It's got a nice little yellow button on there, a little red one, and that little LCD screen. That would have been cool if it lit up, but I understand why it doesn't. He also comes with a classic military grade watch. Really like the details in the front of that watch, it looks really good. The strap on the back is got a metal buckle that's been painted. Very nice detail for such a small piece. He also comes with a hold-all bag, and this is for more of his sort of casual look rather than full-on war look. And look how dirty and dingy that is. Straps are really cool. Yeah, I really like this. Very nice. He also comes with a jacket, very weathered. Looks like it's been damaged with mud and sand and everything like that. And then he's got the vest underneath, and again, weathered and slightly damaged. And what would Rambo be without his guns? And here we have the rocket launcher. Looks very cool. Nice and shiny metallic finish on this part here. It's even got a little buckle piece here that moves around. It's all dirty along here. Nice and worn. And then of course we get the missile, and that just slots in there very nicely. Oh, that's cool. He also comes with a machine gun with the grenade launcher on the front. See if this moves. Yep, it moves forward and back. Very worn and tired. Does the clip come out? Did I break that? Nope, didn't break that. That's really cool. That actually moves. And the magazine comes out. You can see the bullets inside. Also, does this kick back? Does. You can see the bullet inside. And then the handle moves out and in like that. And he also comes with his little pendant necklace. Try and get in on the detail there. You can see it is very reminiscent of the actual one he wore in the film. And he also comes with 2 extra wrist pegs, and surprisingly an extra neck peg as well, which is good. He also comes already attached his iconic Rambo knife, as a lot of people call it now. That looks really good. There's even a little bit sort of like almost like a rust sheen in certain parts of it to make it look like it is a real dirty used knife with that serrated edges on the side. Yeah, that's awesome. And just in the boot here he has another little knife for when he needs to get a job done quick, and that just slides back into the boot like that. And while we're here, let's have a quick look at the boots. Look how dusty and dirty they are. And they're not pleather, they're actually like a rubbery plastic. There is a tiny bit of like a glue residue here, I can feel it. It's a bit tacky and sticky. Just want to be careful with that. But they're very soft and they can move around quite a bit. I really like these straps up here. Very movie accurate. And then the trousers are filthy, as they should be. This isn't a man who sits around in these nice clean linen clothes, you know, sipping tea on the lawn. This is Rambo. And he comes with a bunch of hands. He's got 2 fisted on that he wears there. And he also comes with 2 left hand trigger hands. And I thought these were a bit of an error to begin with, but you can actually see the grip is a little larger on one than the other. And one of the fingers sticks out more. So it's probably actually to hold, one holds the machine gun and one holds the rocket launcher. So instead of just trying to get you to force the hand to actually fit one or the other, they actually gave you 2 that will probably fit more snugly. And he also comes with this bow pulling hand. You can see the 2 fingers sticking out more than the rest. That's where you put the strings of the bow. And also I forgot to mention that they are elastic. And yet another gripping hand for another weapon, maybe even a knife. Plus he comes with 1 relaxed hand for his left, but not his right, which is a little strange. Overall, I'm actually overwhelmed by the amount of stuff you get. Okay, so let's just take a quick goosey ganders at that head sculpt. Look at that. That looks awesome. I'm so glad that they changed it. I don't know what they did. I think it was the hair. The hair was really thick and it didn't work. So they actually went back and revised it. And it makes the whole thing so much better. And that head sculpt, the likeness is spot on. Absolutely amazing. I really like all this stubble he's got on there. And it definitely looks like Sylvester Stallone from the 80s, not Sylvester Stallone as he looks now. After all that HGH stuff, he looks like a swollen sausage. Coming down, we can see there is like a rubber body torso over a normal 1/6 scale body. But it works really well. Really like all the scarring they've got in here, and they've got all this sort of skin flecking in there to make it look more realistic. You can see all the tiny little freckles and pigments in the skin. My only issue is that this body torso bit overlaps on the shoulder a little bit and it sticks out, so it's a little bit of an ugly seam there. I think Hot Toys did better with the Commando figure in hiding the seam between the shoulder and the arm. a little better. There is some nice articulation in the head. He looks left and right, but you want to be careful of that hair rubbing against the rubber of the body. It could take the paint application off, because there is a paint application on top of this rubber. You can get the neck down quite far. You can kind of get it looking up, but again, be careful, because that could rub on the paintwork. The arms are on ratchets and go up really high. They can come down again, but again, be careful of catching it just there. The arms can go straight up, go out quite far, turn their head. You can get him into sort of like a side stance for the bow and arrow. There is little to no bicep swivel, I'm afraid, but there is a ratchet in the forearm. You can get the arms up to about halfway. Then you start to get that ugly Thanos seam just there if you do it too much. And then the hands are on wrist pegs. They can move up and down and flexible. And that's one of the issues I've got, is the wrist pegs do stick out quite far and they are a little bit ugly, which is a little bit of a detriment to the almost seamless design that they were going for. The waist articulation is spot on. The thing can move around like mad. There is thigh swivel. Get his leg up to about there. There is a double bend in the knee, slight restriction with the trousers there, but they go back quite far. And there is flexibility in that foot, so he can get a little bit of ankle pivot, which is surprising for sculpted boots. And the legs can go out to about that far before the trousers start to restrict their movement. Overall, I'm really glad they went back to the drawing board and replaced the hair with a new hair sculpt, so that it actually looks a little bit more like Rambo rather than Pambo. No, I can do better than that, come on. He looks more like John Rambo now rather than Monica Rambo. No, it's not. I don't know, I'm embarrassing myself, so I won't keep trying that one. Threezero did a great job with that head sculpt finally, and I really like the work they've done into this upper torso here. He's got all the scars you would expect, and he's actually got that body shape that Stallone really does have, rather than just getting a generic 1/6 scale body and then just putting some scars on it or just leaving it as it is. They actually went to full effort to re-sculpt the whole upper torso so that you actually get a really close representation to Sylvester Stallone back when he made Rambo 3. Top work. And one of the things I always like with Threezero's products, the wrist pegs are always on slightly bigger ball joints here. So they're a lot easier to pop their hands on and off with, which is a lot better, because I always think that the other ones are a bit too thin and they're very difficult and very easy to snap, whereas these look a little bit more robust and they'll actually last a bit longer. And here is John Rambo in his casual summer attire. As we can see, he is wearing the colours of the season, producing quite a sporting cut with the fine boots, the trousers, the coat and the bag. This range was designed by Jean-Paul Gaultier and will be available at your local Debenhams sometime in the near future, if they don't all shut down. Okay, and as you can see, with him all geared up like this, he looks really cool, but we don't want to see him in a sort of casual carrying a bag kind of way, do we? We want to see this guy go to war. So let's get some of the gear out and have a look at him when he's fully kitted up, ready to kick ass. And here he is in the bow and arrow stance, but it's been a bit difficult and a bit tough to get him into this pose. The rubber body does cause some restrictions. Getting the arms in tight to the chest is very difficult, and you can see that the actual rubber torso is rubbing on that arm a little bit, and it's not the best. So if you were going to pose him like this or get him into some sort of arrow shooting pose, be prepared to have sort of damage done to it over time, because I don't think it was actually designed to pose in such an extreme way. And you can see it's putting a lot of stress on that rubber arm now. So I definitely won't be posing him like this for long. But if you can and want to pose him shooting the bow and arrow, potentially you could. You could probably even get him into a better pose than this. If you want to, yeah, you could probably get him into a very nice bow and arrow pose. Just be patient, take your time, and you should get there. And something I have noticed is that all the hands seem to grip a different kind of weapon. So you could, in actual fact, put all the weapons into each corresponding hand and keep them there. And then when you feel like changing up the pose, they'll be nice and quick and accessible to easily repose him. And here he is posing with the attitude corrector. Looks pretty cool, doesn't it? It definitely looks like Rambo now. I'm telling you, this is a bit of a sleeper hit for me. I was not expecting them to actually go in and correct the prototype so well and actually knock it out of the park in terms of bringing us an awesome Rambo. But it seems like they've done it. Look at all the muscle detail in there with shading. Absolutely fantastic. But like I said, when you are posing him up, be careful of the elbows there. And here he is, evening the odds. This is an argument ender, and I can just about get him into that pose, and doesn't it look bloody cool? Again, I wouldn't risk keeping him in these poses, but it's great for photography and stuff like that. And you can just see that the actual bend in the arm isn't too obnoxious there. It looks reasonably natural, but obviously you're putting stress on the inside bit of the torso here on the arm, cutting into it just here. But it is what it is. Sacrifices must be made, and look at all the striation and muscles just in here by the ribs. That's really cool. And one of my only concerns is with this vest. Over time, if it hasn't been washed and faded naturally, then some of those dyes could rub off on the body. So if you really want to keep him in pristine condition for the longest time, you're either going to have to put the vest on and then just accept it and leave it on, or you might have to actually never put the vest on and keep him shirtless. Oh, they don't make action heroes like this nowadays, I'll tell you what. And here he is in a slightly wounded but still got his knife, so he's still ready to fight pose. And I have to say, I really like this. My only dislikes about this figure are that he doesn't come with a stand, which is really annoying. He should come with a stand, Threezero. You should have got some sort of setup for him. This is the diecast Mark 7 Avengers stand, and I actually think this looks quite nice with it. Looks quite cool with all the little bullets and stuff sort of hanging around on the base. Looks like he's making his last stand. And I'm also really happy that they actually improved that head sculpt so that it actually looks like John Rambo, as opposed to one of those Karens who's just angry and wants to speak to your supervisor. And the upper torso sculpting is just really movie accurate, and it's very reminiscent of the actor himself. And I'm so glad that they actually went back to the drawing board and added some improving bits to this, because I really like the final product. I actually think it is way better than the prototype they showed, and if they had shown this at the start, this probably would have sold out pretty quick. But as it is, I think people are going to be late to the game, but he is still available in certain shops. So I would recommend you go hunt this one down, because if you are an action hero fan like I am, if you're a big fan of Arnie and Stallone and Willis and all those guys, this guy has got to come into your collection. It is an absolute classic, iconic character, and Threezero have done a brilliant job reproducing him. From the head sculpt to the body, to the weathered clothing, to the knife, to the rocket launcher, to the machine gun, the bows and arrows with all the different arrowheads, including the arrow bag, his satchel, his coat. The whole lot just adds all together to make this an absolute must-have for any movie fan. And I'm glad I didn't sit on this too long to get him, because when he sells out, people are going to be hunting this down for years. This is one of the best Rambo representation figures that you can get on the market today, hands down. Okay guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Like and subscribe. If you do me a favor now, if you can get the fuck out of my cave, I'm going to put this guy next to my Commando and my Terminator 2 figures, because that is exactly where he belongs. Bye bye guys.